Sure.
Thanks. I used to study with some witnesses like a couple of years ago, and they emphasized like that you guys don't have clergy.
Well, we have brothers that take the lead with the teachings. Yeah, we don't call them any kind of a clergy.
Right. It seems like if you look up clergy, in the literature, it's all very negative, on that term, right?
Well, it's only because, other religions and churches use that term.
Right.
So we're no part of that. It's easy to identify Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't use that term.
So it's still, that hasn't changed or anything?
Yeah, we call them, we just have brothers who take the lead. Is that something that just had impacted you negatively?
Well, I was just confused by what I was reading. I was reading a detailed journalism article about the child sexual abuse trial from last week in Pennsylvania. A woman that was taking the organization to court. I don't know if you heard about it. Yeah, they had their lawyers were witnesses, and I think maybe elders were on the witness stand also from that particular congregation, and they tried to claim clergy privilege, which means that if someone tells you something, one-on-one, you aren't obligated to report it to the police. And I just thought, how could they claim that when they've gone to such great lengths to say they're not clergy,
Well, I know one thing. I don't know that one to be accurate say, because if anything like that were to happen, our elders would report it immediately. They would tell us to go to abuse. They would tell us to use the system to protect our children, to have the person dealt with. That is not tolerated at all. There would be no covering up. Absolutely not.
Well,
I'm a mother with children.
That's what this case was about, and they certainly knew, and they did not call the police, and which is required in the state of Pennsylvania, and they settled for a large amount of money after 4 days.
Wow, that's really, and this is something it was on the news, or you read?
Oh, yeah, it was in the news in Pennsylvania, it was in Philadelphia. Her name was Stephanie Fessler, Fessler, and she won a large settlement. They can't say what. Most people think it was at least $2 million.
Wow, because, yes, that is, the organization would not protect someone who committed child abuse, sexual abuse at all. They would turn them in. So I'm very shocked to even hear that statement. Yeah, they're also, the Australia Royal Commission also investigated them, countrywide along with some other organizations. And they're going to be reopening that in March also, because they want to see if they've made any changes, since then. You can actually see videos of the Australia Royal Commission. Jeffrey Jackson even testified there. I'm surprised you didn't hear about it. No, because, we're not sheltered or anything. Or good. No, so nothing like that. We're open and free to do whatever. Oh, good. Okay, it's called the Australia Royal Commission on Child Sexual Abuse. And if you type in probably Jeffrey Jackson, you can probably find videos of what he said. It's really interesting. And this all took place last week? No, that was not this past summer, but the summer before. And now they're calling them back in March because they weren't satisfied with their answers. So the Stephanie Fessler one was last week in Philadelphia. Okay. I don't know, it just jumped out at me why they were saying clergy privilege, because I know how they feel about that term. They use the word clergy, but only because that's the recognized term of someone who's not one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So the only reason they would use the term, because somebody who's not a Jehovah's Witness might not understand the terms that we use. So, yes. Well, they insist there's no clergy-laity distinction. So then to be in court and claim you are clergy is they didn't get off because of that, because about 10 or 11 people knew it wasn't like a private one-on-one thing. So no. They better not have. That's terrible that happened to that person. Yeah, it's terrible that they didn't call the police as was required by law. That's why they were being required by law. Yeah, they even called the branch and they didn't advise them to call the police. So that's why it kind of goes up to the top. But I just wondered what your thought was about the clergy thing. I was amazed that they called themselves that.
Yeah, no, but I understand why you would be, because if they say it, they would, like I said, they wouldn't probably use the term elder because they wouldn't think someone non-Jehovah's Witness would recognize that term. So that's why I figured maybe they use the word clergy, so that would be more recognizable, but it still doesn't take away from what happened to that situation.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I know you said you used to study. I don't know, maybe have you looked at the website, thejw.org?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so you see all the literatures there and things like that.
Yeah. I like to really research it more from the older publications because I like to search into the origins of something. And they, remarkably, they only go back to the year 2000 on there.
We do, right, because just putting all that information there. We do have a CD-ROM that goes back all the way back.
I think it goes to about 1950. But to all the way back, I mean, definitely you can find the scans online to see what Russell really was teaching. It's pretty interesting. Right. It's different than what they really say. But, hey, thanks for talking to me about that and being so nice about it. Okay.
Sure.
Thanks a lot. God bless.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.